What's up guys, Matt here coming at you with another quick video. Just going to talk a little bit about putting these Treal metal transmission gears in this transmission. Just while I have it apart, throwing those in there. None of these gears are actually stripped, but you guys know if you watched the video I did on the Furitek Greyhound motor, it has crazy power. I was getting some grinding in there. I think it's actually the open diff slipping. So I'm going to put some 1 million weight fluid in there also to thicken that up. If you guys haven't ever used this, it's pretty thick. So it's not quite as thick as like the silicone earplugs that I use to lock them up, but it should really help it keep it from slipping so much, hopefully. And then while I was tearing into this, I figured I may as well put these metal gears in. I've had some people say they put those, or they pulled the transmission apart and gears went everywhere. And they wasn't really sure how it all went together, so gonna get that done if I can get the package open. I do have some of the FMS metal transmission gears on the way, and I actually feel like I'm gonna prefer those because they have the little shift fork, and I've kind of mentioned that. But so really, let's talk about this. You're gonna pull the 4 screws out of the bottom of the truck. If you don't know, you're gonna take those 4 screws out. This will pull straight out. You'll have to kind of unhook your shift linkage there, this little wire looking thing, and then it comes right out. Then you'll want to take your drive shaft off. So you're going to take a Phillips head screw out of there, pull that off, take these 3 screws here out, and then this will come off. And this is where people say the gears like go everywhere and then they don't know how they go in there, but it's kind of like stacking a puzzle piece in there. They can really only go one way and work. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this other side of the drive shaft off. All right, so I pulled this whole section out. This has the shift fork and everything in the very first gear, basically, I'm going to start with. This is what I'm talking about. The Treal gears does not include this little shift fork or this shifter here. The FMS ones do have these in metal, and you know, they probably thought that wasn't a big deal, but I have had these round out. You can see the shape on that, it slips over this shaft. I've had those kind of round out and it gets stuck on there, and then your shifter won't move this, so you can't shift gears. And I burned out a shift servo because of that, because this right here is what slides back and forth and engages each gear. And if it gets stuck on there, then you're out of luck. Now, these first gears, you have, these are all like 30 tooth, but you can see the diameter of the hole there is too small to go on this shaft where it needs to. So you have to look for the 2. You'll use 2 of these that have the larger hole in the center that will go over that shaft. And you got to make sure it goes on this way with these little notches facing this little shift plate, because that's what catches on the gear. So when it shifts this way, it engages that gear. When it shifts the other way, this one's just kind of freewheeling. So that's just like that. Make sure your bearing stayed in. Shift fork or shift lever there goes through the bottom. And you want it just like that. So the other side, same thing. Another 30 tooth with the larger diameter hole in the center, see? And you want those cutouts facing this way. So your shifter, when it shifts, I don't know if I can hold all this still, but it'll come up and engage that gear, or it'll go back and engage the other one. So that's going to sit kind of like that. These other ones, I pulled these out kind of like this. So your case is here. The rest of these are just kind of going to stack up. You're going to have a 30 tooth and then one of these 3015s. Yeah, 3015 here on this shaft. So let's just start trying to get some of these in there. So that one's going to go first. And let's get this one in here. We're going to need our main spur here. Kind of hold it in place. Stack looks like this. And you've got this one here. Stacks right in. Everything's got to link up together. And then your final gear will go here. So that's exactly how they will go. I'm going to try to put, I don't want that shaft. Try to put some grease down in here on these very first. I want to leave the shaft. Trying to just leave that in there so everything stays lined up. So I'm going to get a little grease down in there because it's going to be hard to get to those in a minute. So you can really use any kind of grease. I'm using this track power gear grease. You know, a lot of people swear by like the Udder Butter and all these different brands, and grease is grease to me. It'll all work around in there, it'll be fine. See, it just kind of stinks. You're getting all these metal gears, and you still got that little fork and shift plate that are the stock plastic. It's one of those things. Some of these companies would listen to people, but they just want to go make something, and they just want to do what they want to do. All right, so everything's stacked in there. We got a little bit of grease on everything. It'll be enough. Now that's the hard part. Lining everything up. There we go. Get a screw in there to hold it together. I'm gonna put just a little bit of grease right there. Also, brass pinions, kind of soft. All right. So I actually haven't stripped any of those gears I thought I did at one time, and it was that shift fork in there giving me problems, because it was like almost shifting, but it wouldn't shift all the way. So when it would go one way, I had power and everything worked, but when it would go the other, it wasn't shifting far enough because that fork was stuck and my servo just couldn't push it where it needed to be. And so it would just kind of grind, and so I thought I'd stripped one of those gears, and I hadn't. Usually you strip like the diff gear or break the drive shaft or something before it gets to the transmission. So I don't know that these are really needed, but I figured while this thing's apart, it's in the monster truck, which I'm gonna run hard with this brushless Greyhound motor, may as well make them metal. All right, so this is all back together, getting ready to put it in the truck. I always hook the linkage first here, but one thing you guys need to do right now, make sure you put this piece on. I am bad about putting the screws back in here and not putting that piece on there. That has to go on just like that. If you put the transmission back in without it, you'll be aggravated. So definitely do not forget that right there. Just like that. All right, then this is all just going to be out like this. This is really the hardest part of any of this. So I always kind of hook that first. And you got to make sure your drive shaft's out here where you need it. And then your front one is tucked down where you can get to it. Also, it's very hard to get this where I want it and show it, but make sure both of your drive shafts are able to move freely. All right, then I always start with the back here, and I hold it straight up and down because you want to phase these. So I hold this tab straight up and down, same on this one here, and then I lift all of this and slide those together. Hopefully you can see there. You want this tab in line with this one. So the front, now we just need the front. So you can kind of roll this up. It's hard to keep that front drive shaft where you need it, but roll that up. If you get that straight up and down again, get this one straight up and down, kind of just push it in while you roll that up. That all goes together just like that. So easy, right? Of course it looks easy. There's always issues. Sometimes you're not in line, you have to pull it back apart. It happens to me too, trust me. So everything's straight in line. Perfect. Get a screw in there before it falls out on me. So this video is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna just do the diff fluid on another video so that anybody's wanting to do one or the other of these don't have to watch a 45-minute video. I try to keep my videos 20 to 30 on a longer video. I really don't like doing that because people don't want to watch that long. But I really appreciate it if you've stuck around this far. Hopefully this helps you get these gears in if you are kind of questioning them or having an issue or something. Definitely lots of monster truck stuff coming. Lots of stuff coming. Tons of FCX24 stuff. A couple little cheap, kind of toyish grade trucks, but hobby grade that I picked up. We're gonna check those out. Some 18th scale coming for sure. So make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell so you get notified. Gonna be posting the giveaway on the Max Smasher very soon. So Definitely keep an eye out for that. Click the bell so you get notified of that. Why not win a free one? All right, so I appreciate everybody. Don't forget to click the bell, seriously. All right, peace.